Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. So today our group 2 will present our study entitled The Influence of Time Management, Learning Skill and Academic Interaction on Academic Performance among final year student of Akidah and Religion Study FKP. The main purpose of this study to understand the factor that may influence the academic performance of final year students. In this study, we focus on three independent variables, which are time management, learning skill, and academic interaction. Academic performance is the dependent variable. A total of 90 respondents participate in this study. The data were collected using a questionnaire and analyzed using SPSS. Several statistical analyses were conducted, including descriptive analysis, variable computations, reliability analysis, percent correlation analysis, and multiply linear regressions. So next, for this session, we will explain the research frameworks of our study. Our study focuses on three research questions. The first research question is, what is the influence of time management on academic performance among final year students of Akidah and Religion Study at FKP? The second research question is, what is the influence of learning skill on academic performance among final year students of Akidah and Religion Study at FKP? The third research question is, what is the influence of academic interaction on academic performance among final year students of Akidah and Religion Study at FKP? Based on this research question, we developed three research objectives. The first research objective is to examine the influence of time management on academic performance among final year students of Akidah and Religion Study at FKP. The second objective is to determine the influence of learning skill on academic performance among final year students of Akidah and Religion Study at FKP. So the third objective is to investigate the influence of academic interaction on academic performance among final year students of Akidah and Religion Study at FKP. Next, we also developed three hypotheses. Hypothesis 1 states that there is a significant positive influence of time management on academic performance among final year students of Akidah and Religion Study at FKP. Hypothesis 2 states that there is a significant positive influence of learning skill on academic performance among final year students of Akidah and Religion Study at FKP. Hypothesis 3 states that there is a significant positive influence of academic interaction on academic performance among final year students of Akidah and Religion Study at FKP. So next, the conceptual framework shows the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. The three independent variables are time management, learning skill, and academic interaction. The dependent variable is academic performance. In this study, time management includes aspects such as frustration and stress. Learning skill include group learning and individual learnings. Academic interaction include variable and non-variable interaction. Meanwhile, academic performance includes student grades and tasks. The arrow in the conceptual framework show that each independent variable is accepted to influence academic performance. Therefore, the study attempt to determine which variable has the strongest influence on student academic performance.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haziq Mirza bin Hasnan and my metric number is 1233164. Today, I will be presenting the descriptive analysis of our study. Before discussing about frequency, which is I explain after this, I would like to highlight the completeness of our dataset. As shown in table 1, a total of 90 respondents participate in the study. All 90 responses were valid and there were no missing data for any of the demographic variables, namely gender, age, and also CGPA. The absence of missing data indicate that every respondent complete the demographic section of the questionnaire. Therefore, the data set is complete and suitable for statistical analysis, ensuring that the findings are more accurate and also reliable. With that, I will now proceed to present the frequency analysis of the respondent demographic characteristic, which is include gender, age and CGPA. Firstly, let us look at the gender distribution of the respondent. Based on the finding, 74 respondents representing 82.2% were female, while 16 respondents representing 17.8% were male. Therefore, it can be concluded that female students form the majority of the respondents in the study. Next, I will present the age distribution of the respondent. The results show that 74 respondents or 82.2% were between 22 and 23 years old. Meanwhile, the remaining 16 respondents or 17.8% were aged 24 years and above. This indicates that most of the respondents belong to the 22 to 23 years old age group. Finally, let us look at the CGPA distribution of the respondent. The findings show that 60 respondents representing 66.7% had a CGPA between 3.00 and 3.49. In addition, 80 respondents or 20% had a CGPA between 2.50 and 2.99. While 12 respondents or 13.3% had a CGPA between 3.50 and 4.00. Overall, the majority of the respondents were in the middle CGPA category, ranging from the 3.00 to 3.49. Next, the overall descriptive statistic of the study variables. Table 5 presents the descriptive statistic for the 4 study variables based on 90 respondents. Overall, learning skills recorded the highest mean score of 3.7156, indicating that respondents generally demonstrated a high level of learning skill. This was followed by academic performance, with a mean of 3.3356 academic interaction, with a mean of 3.0778, and time management, which recorded the lowest mean score of 3.0578. In addition, academic performance had the smallest standard deviation, indicating more consistent responses among the respondents. In contrast, time management recorded the largest standard deviation, suggesting greater variation in the responses. Next, we examine that overall mean score of the 4 variables. Learning skill recorded the highest mean score, which was 3.7156. This was followed by academic performance with a mean of 3.3356. Academic interaction recorded a mean of 3.0778, while time management had the lowest mean of 3.0578. For learning skill, respondents strongly agreed that they preferred revising using their own notes. This item recorded the highest mean of the 4.1111. This suggests that individual revision was an important learning method among the respondents.
I will continue to the next part. In this section, I will explain the variable computation process. Before conducting the main statistical analysis, we first check the dataset for missing values. This step is important because missing data can affect the accuracy of findings and reduce the number of usable responses. Based on the analysis, all 90 respondents completed the questionnaire and there were no missing values for any variable. Therefore, all respondents were retained for analysis and no replacement method was needed. Next, we construct the study variables by calculating the mean score for each construct using the compute variables functions in SPSS. 4 composite variables were created, namely time management, learning skills, academic interactions, and academic performance. Using mean score allows each construct to be represented by a single value, making the subsequent analysis easier and more reliable. This table presents the descriptive statistics for the 4 compute variables. Among all variables, learning skills recorded the highest mean score of 3.72, indicating that respondents generally agreed they possess good learning skills. This was followed by the academic performance with a mean of 3.34, while academic interactions and time management recorded mean scores of 3.08 and 3.06 respectively. In terms of consistency, academic performance had the smallest standard deviations of 0.35, showing that respondents gave relatively similar answers. On the other hand, time management recorded the highest standard deviations of 0.54, indicating greater variations in respondents' perceptions regarding their time management practices.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ikmal Hamdi bin Syahidan. My matrix number is 1231447. So now I will present the reliability analysis of this study. Reliability analysis was conducted using Cronbush alpha to measure the internal consistency of the questionnaire item. Internal consistency means whether all the questionnaire items measure the same construct consistently. Generally, a Cronbush alpha value of 0.70 or above indicates that the questionnaire is reliable. Based on our findings, the overall reliability test produced a Cronbush alpha value of 0.792 for 40 questionnaire item. Since the value is higher than 0.70, the questionnaire has acceptable internal consistency. Therefore, the instrument is reliable and suitable for further statistical analysis, including correlation and regression. This slide shows the additional reliability output. The reliability analysis for the 4 computed variable produced a Cronbush alpha value of 0.540. Although this value is below 0.70, it should not be considered the main reliability result. This is because the 4 variables represent different constructs, namely time management, learning skills, academic interaction, and academic performance. Since these variables measure different concepts, they should not be combined into one reliability test. Therefore, the overall Cronbush alpha of 0.792 remains the official reliability result of this study. So in conclusion, the questionnaire is reliable and appropriate for the subsequent correlation and regression analysis.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hazi Imran bin Jamili. My metric number is 1233173. So next, I will present the Pearson correlation analysis. So the Pearson correlation was conducted to examine the relationship between the 3 independent variables and academic performance. So the first is time management. Time management recorded a correlation coefficient of 0.192 with a p-value of 0.070. Although the relationship was positive, the p-value was greater than 0.05. Therefore, the relationship was not statistically significant and hypothesis 1 was not supported. So the second one is learning skills. Learning skills recorded a correlation coefficient of 0.388 with a p-value of less than 0.001. So this indicates a significant positive relationship. Students with better learning skills tend to achieve a better academic performance. Therefore, hypothesis 2 was supported. So finally, the third one, academic interaction, recorded the highest correlation coefficient of 0.432 with a p-value of less than 0.001. So this means academic interaction has the strongest positive relationship with academic performance. Students who interact more actively with lecturers and classmates generally perform better academically. So therefore, hypothesis 3 was also supported. So overall, academic interaction showed the strongest correlation, followed by learning skills, while time management did not show a significant relationship with academic performance. So next, I will present multiple linear regression analysis. So multiple linear regression was conducted to determine whether the time management, learning skills, and academic interaction could jointly predict academic performance. So based on the model summary, the R value was 0.508, indicating a moderate relationship between the independent variables and academic performance. So the R square value was 0.258, meaning that these three variables explain 25.8% of the variation in academic performance. So the remaining 74.2% may be explained by other factors not included in this study. So next, the ANOVA results show that the regression model was statistically significant with F 9.968 and P less than 0.001. Therefore, the overall regression model was suitable for interpretation. So looking at this regression coefficient, time management had a positive beta value of 0.166, but it was not statistically significant with a p-value of 0.084. Meanwhile, learning skills had a beta value of 0.269 and was statistically significant with a p-value of 0.013. So next, academic interaction recorded the highest standardized beta value of 0.282 with a p-value of 0.010. So this making it the strongest predictor of academic performance. So in conclusion, the regression analysis show that learning skills, academic interaction significantly predict academic performance, while time management does not make a significant unique contribution when all variables are analyzed together. So that's all from me. Thank you.
To conclude our presentations, this study examined the influence of time management, learning skills, and academic interactions on academic performance among final year students of Aqidah and Religious Studies (FKP). A total of 90 respondents participated in the study. The questionnaire achieved an acceptable reliability value with a Cronbach alpha of 0.792. Therefore, the questionnaire was considered suitable for statistical analysis. The correlation analysis showed that learning skills and academic interactions had significant positive relationships with academic performance. Learning skills recorded a correlation coefficient of 0.388, while academic interactions recorded a stronger correlation coefficient of 0.432. However, time management had only a weak positive relationships with academic performance, and these relationships was not statistically significant. The regressions analysis showed that the three independent variables together explain 25.8% of the variations in academic performance. The overall regressions model was statistically significant. Academic interaction was identified as the strongest significance predictor of academic performance. This was followed closely by learning skills. Time management did not significantly predict academic performance when the other two variables were controlled. Therefore, hypothesis 2 and hypothesis 3 were supported, while hypothesis 1 was not supported. The findings show that students may improve their academic performance by developing effective learning skills and maintaining positive academic interactions. Students should prepare their own notes, organize their revisions, communicate with classmates, and seek guidance from lecturers. Lecturers and educational institutions should also provide more opportunities for collaborations learning and meaningful interactions between students and lecturers. That concludes our presentations. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.